Jason? Okay, the City of Marine City Commission meeting is called to order on a Thursday, February 6, 2025 at 7 o'clock p.m. We have a moment of silence to send positive thoughts and prayers to those in our community that need our support. Okay, now please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, get roll call, please.
Commissioner Bryce.
Here.
Commissioner Hendrick.
Here.
Commissioner Clausen.
Here.
Commissioner O'Brien.
Here.
Commissioner Roerig.
Here.
Mayor Vandenbosch.
Here.
City Manager Reeves.
Here.
Okay. On to approving the agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. On to public comment. Anyone is welcome to address the city commission. Please state your name. Limit your comments to 5 minutes. The commission will not respond, but will follow up as necessary. Does anybody like to speak?
Michael Frank. So obviously, let's start with the obvious here. I got 5 whole minutes, so this is what I experienced when asking questions simply of the DPW why we were alerted at 6 o'clock in the morning to a water main break, and then at noon, 6 hours later, our water was shut off. I used that water all morning. I know it was clean. Why weren't we given a warning that, maybe nursing mothers should take some water in case they need to mix up some formula, for example, considering the water wasn't fixed for 7 hours later? You guys made a post saying there would be intermittent, if any, water interruption. It was out for 7 hours. And this is the reaction that I got by your workers when I asked about it. And I apologize for the language, but they are your workers. Sorry, phone's on airplane mode. 'Cause I gotta do now. So I'm in a lot of hot shit, according to Aaron Atkinson. Why is that? Why did Aaron Atkinson take his DPW trucks from the corner of Maple and Mary and park them on the corner of Woodworth and Mary to block my road? The last time I checked, the DPW is not in charge of police duties, right, Mr. Heslop? So what were they doing blocking my road?
Mike,
Mr. Hill.
keep it over.
I apologize.
It's all right.
So this is my official complaint to the chief and to the city manager here for assault, because what you heard in that video was me being assaulted by Josh Daniels in my research and opinion, based on videos and Facebook footage. And that is a former employee of the DPW who happened to be wearing an ML Chartier vest that day, along with some day-lewd construction workers that didn't really look like they knew where they were, which is why I asked them if they spoke English. The entire conversation that we had, these two gentlemen looked entirely confused. They had no idea what was going on. We have a problem in this city. We have a problem in this county with severe human trafficking. Severe. And I don't mean big humans. I mean both big and little. And in my opinion, it starts right here, because that's where it started in 1900, right here, with the tunnels that were supposedly for prohibition that they just found in Marysville under somebody's house. Could those tunnels be used for something else? I don't know, but the Catholics sure built a lot of tunnels under Holy Cross. So the construction company, DLL Construction, or Dalude, he kind of switches around his initials when he starts company. DLL LLC is invested in Gord's Bar. DLL LLC is also, in my opinion, invested in what's right next door, RC Construction, the weird construction company that just pops up in Marine City but does construction all across the world and builds IRS buildings in Puerto Rico. What is going on here? People need to start asking questions because there's some weird shit going on. I was in the parking lot of Gord's Bar the other day, and I saw kegs being unloaded from an unmarked white pickup truck. Last time I checked, kegs are supposed to be unloaded from an Anheuser-Busch truck, right? Not just some random truck. And the people doing the unloading weren't even the person that showed up in the truck. So I went inside Gord's and asked them about it. They got real weird, real weird. And I got that on tape too. So whatever is going on here, by the gentleman that has Millie Bobby Brown under his fan page, better stop.
Okay, anybody else? Public comment? Anybody else?
I guess I'll just say, I'll just give, okay.
Sorry.
Usually where the comments are made right at the podium. Really just got out of this truck when I was walking up. It's almost like I didn't want to make comment.
I guess I'm just, so I guess I'll just say, I mean, I'm not familiar with the water main break, although I would just like to say that, you know, obviously, I mean, I don't work for city government, but I do know it's a hard job, and we have to, and like, I understand that water main breaks are frustrating. However, we have to have patience. They can't be fixed instantly. You know, a lot of I mean, you know, it's going to take a while. It's to take a little bit to fix a water main break, and sometimes you have to have patience. I know people like to get confrontational, but I feel like that's counterproductive because I feel like it causes a lot of unnecessary conflict that just makes things worse, not better. I'm of the view you should probably be more polite and try to be patient. I mean, I understand a water main break's hard to go through, but I think patience and I think and trying to be understanding, I think would be a better approach than being confrontational. And I guess I just want to update on what I'm doing. I'm continuing my work on fact-checking a book by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. that's on my site. If you want it, if you want to read it, it's at tylermegank.substack.com. Again, that's tylermegank.substack.com. Or I'm sorry, .substack.com. If you want to read it, I would greatly appreciate it. And that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. If there's no other public comment, we'll move on to item 6 for approving the minutes. Can I have a motion to approve the City Commission meeting minutes of January 23rd, 2025?
So moved. Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? On to B for, can I have the motion to approve City Commission closed session meeting minutes of January 23rd, 2025?
So moved. Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? On to the consent agenda. We have A, the business license application for Simply Silverware. And Mr. Hillfrank?
Oh, okay. So if I'm saying that you said keep waiting, that you're not going to.
Mr. Hillfrank?
Nah, I think I'm staying here. It's not going to.
Mr. Hillfrank?
I'm going to keep waiting to lodge my complaint. That's what he just said to me, and I'm going to keep.
You're not
waiting.
going to keep disrupting our meeting.
Why is our police chief not wanting
Mr.
to follow through
Hillfrank?
with my complaint? Start asking questions. Nice.
Okay.
Is that your BFF?
And B, business license application for Amyos Enterprises Incorporated. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items A through B as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda letters A through B as presented.
Support?
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Bryson?
Yes.
Commissioner Hendrick?
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Brien?
Yes.
Commissioner Rourke?
Yes.
Mayor Vandembosch?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, on to 8, items removed from the consent agenda, we have none. On to financial business, expenditures including payroll of $681,256.63. I have a motion to approve expenditures including payroll in that amount of $681,256.63.
I'll make a motion, we approve expenditures including payroll for $681,256.63.
Support?
Okay, any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Hendrick?
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Brien?
Yes.
Commissioner Rourke?
Yes.
Mayor Vandembosch?
Yes.
Commissioner Bryson?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, on to 10, unfinished business. We have 10A, the TAP grant route finalization. I have a motion to approve the final TAP grant route as presented.
So moved. Support?
Okay, any discussion? Hey, roll call, please.
Commissioner Clausen?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Brien?
Yes.
Commissioner Rourke?
No.
Mayor Vandembosch?
Yes.
Commissioner Bryson?
Yes.
Commissioner Hendrick?
Yes.
Motion carried.
On to new business. We have a resolution 006-2025 for the MDOT contract. Can I have a motion to approve resolution 006-2025? That's the resolution of commitment for MDOT contract and designation of representatives.
I'll make a motion, we approve resolution number 06-2025.
Support?
Okay, any discussion?
Could city manager?
Sure. So this is a contract that the city, quite some time ago, was involved in for work along the state roadway. And several years ago, a representative of the DPW decided it was too much effort, it was too much of a difficulty to ask for reimbursement under the contract, so they stopped signing the contract, but continued to do the work. So all this allows us to do is be reimbursed for the work that we do. So sweeping, those type of things. If we have to put salt on the bridge or clear sidewalks, trim trees, anything that type of area, we can get reimbursed for it. If we're doing the work, we should get paid for it. And they're happy to go back into a contract. This could be anywhere between $9,000 and $12,000 a year that we would be reimbursed.
Can't get the reimbursement without this.
Makes sense.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner O'Brien?
Yes.
Commissioner Rourke?
Yes.
Mayor Vandembosch?
Yes.
Commissioner Bryson?
Yes.
Commissioner Hendrick?
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, on to 11B for the Code of Ethics Policy. And the city attorney, do you want to speak on this?
Yeah, the attorney should speak on ethics. So in your charter revision, you have a list of policies that we are charged with putting in place. And I think we've been pretty diligent at bringing you staged approaches to those policies. And you're doing pretty well. After this one, you'll be just 2 away from meeting your charter requirement. So this is the City of Marine City Ethics Policy and Enforcement Procedure. I know the last time we went through this, there were some concerns. I think the police department had some concerns, other departments had some concerns. So we made sure that the enforcement provision is prefaced with the concept that if there's another mechanism already in place, that procedure trumps the enforcement of this ethics policy. It's a difficult document to write. You know, I'm open to wording changes. It's you know, you start throwing around words about, you know, acting in an honest, truthful, decent manner. I mean, it can become, you know, a rather difficult wording to put in place. But I think what we did here is we took the state ethics policy issued by our governor down through Dana Nessel as a template, And we took other documents that we had already in place out here, and we looked at ethics policies from various other communities and I tried to present to you what I think fits your community. Obviously, the state document is too much. Some of them were not enough. But this is what, this is what we're proposing as your policy. Remember, this policy can be changed, altered at any time you feel like it needs a change, but totally receptive to listening to your thoughts.
Out of particular, and Mr. Davis, I think you're already kind of speaking to it, section 6, number 11 on page 9.
Page 9, number 11.
Yep.
I know the sentence by heart.
Yeah, and it's...
Because I struggled with that
yeah,
one.
and I want to say, I love this document. I love this code of ethics. I think this board needs this document in place, and I have also struggled with these codes with unions. It's very hard to write one of these, and in labor contracts, one of the things we get into is who defines certain terms, and how do you argue back and forth on it. And it's always something administration wants to keep from a union, right, that they get to define these things. But
Sure.
so honesty, justice, and good morals will be one of those things that could be fraught in a community. We've got people of different religions that might disagree on who is being moral, right? We've got arguments on what justice means in a society with big questions around this right now. And certainly, I think every politician is accused, at least at some point, of being dishonest. It
Right.
might be a rite of passage.
So I changed this one.
Yeah?
I did. This was a tough sentence, and I changed it to read, or I have a penned-in potential change, subject to your guys' discussion. Engaging in actions or other conduct contrary to generally accepted decency, period. And I got rid of the other terms because I understood from reading other cases and other criticisms of other policies in other communities that those words are subject to various interpretations based on individuals' backgrounds, their religions, their belief systems. So I think we can all appreciate the general decency.
I'm happy. Thank you.
Okay.
It makes a lot of sense to me.
I had this one starred. I thought this was gonna be, there was one other one, but I think I had already fixed that before I gave you this. So engaging in an actions or other conduct contrary to general and customary decency.
Did I get a motion then to approve the code of ethics policy? Oh, I'm sorry.
I've got some. I have one typo in here. I assume it's a typo.
I put it in for you.
Thank you. Definitions, number 10, which is on page 3. No limited to. I assume you're...
Not limited to.
Not limited to. Okay, great.
You got it.
The other thing is, under general policy statement number 2 on page 4, third paragraph, it says, all public servants shall treat all citizens of the city with courtesy and impartiality. Fine, but what about visitors or lawyers or other people that are not citizens of the city? Shouldn't we extend the same thing
We could
to
say
them?
shall treat all citizens and all members of the public.
That sounds good. Thank you.
Okay?
And then, page 9, 12 and 13. Previously, you've had public servant, and then you go to city public servant, and that's in there for a while, and then you go back to public servant. Maybe it should be a little more consistent.
I'll just use the defined term of...
Either one, but one.
No, we defined public servant, so
Didn't,
let's, it's number 4, definition number 4. Public servant. So
Yeah,
let's
that would
just-
be fine.
We'll just use that.
That's fine. I just thought we were going back and forth, and it probably should be consistent.
Yeah, I'll fix that.
Okay? That's all I had.
Anyone else?
The only thing I'd like to say is, this is a big improvement from the last one that we
Yes.
had.
What was your typo? Where was your typo?
It's in 10 under gift.
Oh, not, yeah, okay, that was it. Okay. I always put one in there for you to catch. Okay. Again, it's a flexible document. You know, as we learn and as we work together, it's a flexible document. Bring changes or thoughts onto any agenda item in the future, and we can kick those around and vote if necessary to modify the policy. It's a starting point.
It's a good starting point. Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, a motion to approve the Code of Ethics policy as amended.
I'll make a motion to approve the Code of Ethics policy as amended.
Support.
Your roll call, please.
I'll send you guys one of the changes.
Commissioner Berg,
Yes.
Mayor Vandembosch,
Yes.
Commissioner Bryson,
Yes.
Commissioner Hendrick,
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Your next meeting, the policy will be your city commission meeting guideline policy on how we conduct our meetings, so you can look forward to that reading.
I will.
Okay, on to 11C, the city property list.
Thank you, Mayor. This is basically an update for the commissioners to understand a couple things. So I was doing some research on what'll be the last topic of discussion tonight, and what I found is the city didn't have a real repository of city-owned properties. There was no file that kept track of all city properties. So we did find an old file that talked about a property description, the address, and a parcel number. But then as I started looking through some of those, we realized that there may be property on there that the city owns that's not on the list, or there may be property on the list that we don't own, but we have it listed as city property. But more importantly, there's property that we have buildings constructed on that we don't have the deed for the property. I think that might be problematic. So what I'd like to just give you a heads up is I'm gonna go through this list, and once a year you'll get a report from the city manager that shows you our inventory of city properties. And then they'll list them categorically. These are right-of-ways, these are street ends, these are easements, these are properties we bought. And then you can make a determination of the ones that are available or could be sold. Do you want to keep them, or do you want to sell them? Do you want to do something with them? That being said, there's a couple that, as I look through this list, I don't think there's ever a danger, but like the city cemetery, we don't have a deed for that. I would have thought we would have had a deed for that property. I think the library was one that caught my eye as well. Bell River Pump Station, no deed, we have a building on that. So things like that, I may come back to you and say I've located 4 properties, if you will, that I think we should pursue obtaining deeds for these properties and making sure that they're in the city's name. And we just went through that with another piece of property, so
You can file.
I think that we can file on those, but the idea is to get these all under our control and to be aware of what we have and what we don't have going forward. So this is just kind of a heads up. This is what's going on in the background, and I'll be working on this as we continue forward.
Thank you. Anybody have anything else on that one? Okay. On to 11D, the Michigan Municipal League Risk Control visit.
So again, this is just another heads up. We had a visit from MML's, actually a representative of Meadowbrook, Frank Demers, came out and talked to myself and talked to a couple department heads, did an inspection, looked at our records. We've done quite well in preventing employee injuries over the last couple of years. As you read through the letter that he wrote, our rating is quite high. He did list a number of different available resources for training for multiple departments of the city. Those have been distributed to department heads and have them look at them and see which ones fit their operation, and then make those available to their employees. And he did give us 2 loss control recommendations. Both were through the Public Works. And if you look, both of those, I agreed with his recommendation, and both of those have been implemented. So this is for just to your knowledge, this is a yearly practice, and then generally we take what comes out of his visit, and we put it into practice if we agree with it.
And this has also been done for the Marine City Fire Authority. We met with the guy, and that was all clean also, and he also gave us issues or things that we could work on in training. It's very, very helpful when they come in and do that. But the fire department had no injuries or reports either, so that was very good.
Mike, you mentioned if you agree with them, you implement them. What happens if the city doesn't agree with recommendations here?
Well, they can make a blanket recommendation for a certain type of training. Let's say it's on DPW's, especially with a wastewater treatment plant and a water plant, would have the need for confined spaced entry equipment. I would disagree with that because we don't do that. Our people aren't trained for it. They aren't equipped for that. We contract that out, so I wouldn't agree with that and indicate that that's subcontracted to a professional organization.
Okay, thank you.
So just, Madam Mayor, may I just speak on something right now, so you get used to what's coming? When you get your meeting procedure, topics like this and the one before it, I'm gonna be asking that you motion to receive and file the report on city properties. A motion to receive and file the report on, you're not taking action on it, but I want your records going forward that you motioned and received for filing the city manager report on, even though you're not voting yes or no. You'll just agree to receive and file. That'll be in your new meeting procedures outline.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
On to E, the community garden discussion.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Last item here tonight, I was asked by a community representative about the interest in the community garden. They were interested in bringing a couple of people together. I know this has been tried in past years, and it took off a little bit and kind of petered out. That led into locating the property for it to be, I went down that rabbit hole, and then I got into the property list. So I extracted myself from that and decided that the easiest location was the library. There's plenty of land right behind the library. It's not a big section of property, and I would ask that you authorize the use of several plots of land behind the library for a community garden. And DPW regularly maintains that area as they do behind our building. I don't see any use for it in the foreseeable future at this point. We'll see how this develops, but give the citizens of the community an opportunity to operate a community garden. I've seen it work well in other cities, and I do have a couple different organizations that have kind of shown interest in being participants and having their plot. So I'm thinking something small, 4 to 6 plots at best, and then we'll see how it goes from there.
Are there any rules and regulations that the
Well,
groups have, or?
One of the things we talk about is not the planting of invasive species that spread beyond the plots. They would be very general.
Right.
Sometimes less rules are better, other than, no pesticides that aren't approved, and just general garden keeping. I don't want to be the garden czar on this thing here. I got enough to do. Just give them the land, let them work it, and
Right.
hopefully get a tomato or a carrot out of it once in a while.
And this is okay with your insurance?
Yeah.
Insurance,
Yeah.
good, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve using the
No marijuana.
space behind the library as a new community garden.
Support.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bryson,
Yes.
Commissioner Hendrick,
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Brien,
Yes.
Commissioner Rourke,
Yes,
Mayor Vandembosch.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, on to 12, administrative reports, or the city attorney report.
I'm good for this evening. Just watch for your meeting procedure. Read that one carefully before we have our next meeting, so we can get that one in place.
Thank you. City manager report.
Yes, just a couple items. One, I want to update people on the road project. I know there was concern. We have put out several updates. Scotch keeps on those real quickly, so keep checking our website for that. 2 things. The presidential executive order, there was a court that issued a stay. They do allow disbursements to continue now. The state notified of that, and the state's the one that controls that process for us. So we've notified the contractor. They began, the project again on Wednesday. It continues forward until a court makes another determination, so we'll see, but it's now full steam ahead. If citizens have issues in terms, first of all, questions, they can be sent to the city via email or by telephone, but there's a Google form on the city's website where you can list comments or concerns, and you'll be contacted in reference to your concern either by email or telephone. So it asks citizens to take advantage of that. As an example, if you notice a pothole that's formed that needs to be filled as part of the construction process, or something that's abnormal, that put it on the form, make us aware of it, we take care of it, we check it daily. Second issue, I don't want to taint any ongoing investigations, so I won't get into depth, but I want to let the citizens know that available on our website is a plethora of information, including water quality reports that speak to the quality and the nature of the water that the city produces. Obviously, those are run through the state of Michigan, through Eagle, and they approve those on a regular basis. So if anybody has any questions in regards to those type of reports, they can be found at our annual water quality report on the website, and that should answer a lot of people's concerns if they have any. And that's all I have tonight.
Thank you very much. Okay, now reports from department heads. We do have several. Police chief?
I'm all set, Madam Mayor.
Fire chief? Okay. All right. Mr. Clerk?
Madam Mayor, just a couple quick things. One, we had the deadline coming up for multiple board vacancies, February 13th. I think we need to extend that. We do have a lack of applications coming in for the multiple vacancies we have. I'd like to extend that to February 26th. That'll be reposted on our website, what vacancies are available, also on our Facebook page. And I also want to remind everybody that the city commission vacancy is open until February 27th. So get the applications into the clerk's office. For a majority of those vacancies, February 26th by 4, and then the city commission vacancy, February 27th by 4 p.m. And then my last thing I have is the reservations site is now live on our website. There is a specific page for it right on the home screen. I call them the little bubbles. It's right on the bottom next to the Orange Community Event Calendar. Make a reservation. If you click on that, you can reserve the Mariner Park Pavilion, 300 Broadway Bandstand, and the new Guy Community Center. Not speaking out of turn on that one. All online reservations for those properties. That's how they'll be taken now. Plan on giving you kind of a little rundown of that at the next meeting to give citizens a way to kind of break their way through that to make a reservation. That's all I have.
Will we be doing a new resolution to move the Guy Center here to there? I think we had to do that last time to put it here.
When we,
Officially.
when we,
Know the title.
yeah, we will.
Okay.
And it will cite back to the bequeath language.
Okay.
All right, on to 13, Commissioner Privilege and Liaison Reports, and we'll start with Commissioner Clausen.
Well, not of anything on the planning commission, we're working on stuff. Hopefully, we will continue on with some good stuff coming into the city. The other thing I want to recommend is and thank the DPW for the work they did on the water line there on North, because I live on that street and I know the blockage of the road was there with that truck. And I could see it from my driveway, I could see it from my living room, and it was a safety because they were working on a gate valve to turn it on and off. There is a reason for blocking off that street with a truck. It's called safety. So thank you, DPW. I was notified that the water was off. I was notified when to turn it on and what to do after we turned it on. So I think they did good. It was cold, and we had like 3 water breaks right in a row, and then we had the snow coming. So then they had to get out of the working in the roads to get in the trucks to plow the roads. and salt them. So they had a very hard week. So I want to thank them.
Thank you. Commissioner Bryson?
I have nothing tonight, thank you.
Commissioner O'Brien?
I want to echo some of Commissioner Clausen's words in thanking our DPW folks. Obviously, this work's been very hard here in January in the cold and the water and everything that they've been dealing with. It's appreciative. Actually, seeing our DPW workers stand in solidarity with one another was an incredibly kind of emotional moment for me and something I really need to see sometimes. And I was very, very touched, very appreciative of that. I won't get more into it. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Bard?
I just wanted to say that with all the changing weather conditions, please be safe out there and slow down. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Hendrick?
Nothing for me tonight.
Oh. Yep, let me make a note of that.
Just a couple quick things I had. We had a community economic development meeting on January 22nd. A couple things we talked about was putting together our business welcome packet letters, as well as we looked into a hometown cam through Streamtime Live, same type of cam that goes up and down the river, but one that kind of will go up and down the Water Street area and all that, so people can get a real-time view of what's going on. There's some restricted funds available through a previous fundraiser that they were looking at possibly using, as well as some business and chamber donations, so they're getting more information on that. So, and again, I would like to thank the DPW and as well as all of our city employees for the great jobs that you guys do. We do appreciate you very much. And with that, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Support, buddy.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hey.